The Slim Shady LP released in 1999. 10 years later, a spiritual successor to this, Relapse, released in 2009. It's now 2019, and if we're to believe this is an established pattern, then get ready folks, 2019 is gonna be quite interesting. Welcome to the channel, and if you're a huge fan of Eminem, I suggest you subscribe to the channel if it's your first time here. The Slim Shady LP released in 1999 and Eminem's career took off from there, and based on the facts, he's been running the rap game ever since his major label debut album, and the album is now estimated to have sold 18 million copies worldwide. Eminem went on hiatus after touring in 2005, and he made a comeback in 2009 with Relapse. And what better way than to make a comeback on your 10-year anniversary? Relapse received mixed reviews from critics and earned an aggregate score of 59 on Metacritic. But in more recent years, Relapse has gained praise from fans and critics. This marked the first time an album from Eminem failed to sell over 10 million copies worldwide, and recent estimates for Relapse are at 7 million copies sold. Eminem in more recent years have taken long breaks in between albums. From MMLP to Revival was 4 years. I wish Eminem never does this again until he retires. 4 years was too long to be away, and Relapse and Recovery share some similarities with Revival and Kamikaze, and there's more to it which I'll expand on later in the video. Relapse received mixed reviews in the same way Revival received mixed reviews from critics, and Recovery released a year later to rain on the parade of haters that thought Eminem was done after Relapse released. It's quite ironic, and Eminem is certainly a special case in hip-hop. He's the only artist that will sell 7 million copies of an album, and it will be looked at as a failure. Revival to Kamikaze was the same case. Revival, in less than 2 months on the market, became the second best-selling hip-hop album of 2017 according to the IFPI's global report, but people still viewed this as a commercial failure just because it's Eminem. But Kamikaze came in once again to rain on the parade of critics who thought Eminem was done, and Kamikaze became the best-selling hip-hop album of the year, in a year that saw album releases from some of the biggest hip-hop artists in the United States, including Kanye West, Lil Wayne, Drake, and many more. But wait, Eminem hasn't released 3 solo studio albums 3 years in a row in his entire career. The Slim Shady LP released in 1999 and the MMLP followed in 2000. The same happened in 2009 with Relapse and Recovery that released in 2010. Revival released in 2017 and Kamikaze in 2018. And if Eminem releases a solo studio album in 2019, this will mark the first time Eminem released studio albums for 3 years in a row. Based on this trend, we shouldn't expect Eminem to release an album this year if it was any other year, but 2019 is significant because it marks something special for Eminem in his career. 2019 makes it 20 years since the release of the Slim Shady LP, and I don't believe Eminem will fail to capitalize on this feat that marks 2 decades of worldwide domination. Eminem is the best-selling artist of the 21st century, and based on the fact that Kamikaze only had 11 songs, the shortest ever for an Eminem album, it's not absurd to expect something this year. It's even possible that Eminem has been working on something for this year for years now, and since Marshall is dead in the water, Slim Shady will be handling this one. So even if it's not titled the Slim Shady LP 2, we should expect something like a spiritual successor to the Slim Shady LP, just like Relapse was. It is also important to add that if we do not get an album from Eminem in 2019, we'll likely get an album from Bad Meets Evil if history also repeats itself, similar to Relapse in 2009, Recovery in 2010, and Hell the sequel that followed in 2011. So Revival in 2017, Kamikaze in 2018, and Hell the prequel in 2019. To be honest, I'd prefer something related to the Slim Shady LP and a solo album from Eminem in 2019, but beggars can't be choosers, and I'd be pumped for Hell the prequel if that becomes a thing. The first Bad Meets Evil album exceeded expectations and debuted at #1 in the United States and has sold nearly 2 million copies worldwide. It held its own against albums like Watch of the Throne based on commercial performance, which is quite the feat since Royce is not as popular as Kanye or Jay-Z. So another Bad Meets Evil album will certainly have an impact in 2019, since Royce is now a bigger artist than he was before the first Bad Meets Evil album. So here's what I expect in 2019. a solo studio album from Eminem, or a Bad Meets Evil album, or maybe another quote core greatest hits album to mark 20 years of domination for Eminem. What are your thoughts? Share them in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching. ET signing out.